when you clearly understand what you want, it's going to start happening for you. I'll say that again. When you clearly understand what you want, it will start to happen for you. Now, what happens to a lot of people is that when the thing that you want is presented to you, a lot of people, most people, start to have a fear build up inside because you have to make this choice. The choice is that you have to let go of one to go the other. You can't be like, if you can imagine a trapeze artist at the circus, they can't get from that side to this side and hold on to both of the handles of the swings that are swinging. They have to let go of one. And in most circuses, they have to let go and have nothing to hold on to while they're flying over to the other one. So let me tell you my personal experience. So what I wanted when I started my first business is that I wanted to have a business that I was the boss, making the money, making enough money to replace my income from where I was working, and then to be able to make more money. I had a dollar amount in my mind. I was like, if I can make that amount, I'm good. And then as that business became successful, my goals kind of moved up. Then I wanted to have employees that would do work. Instead of me doing all of the work, let them do the work. So now they're doing the work and I'm making money without doing extra work, but I'm in the business. Then I went further and I was like, well, I want to have my own office location. So I went and we rented a location. And then after that, it was like, why pay rent for a location when we can own a location? Now, let me tell you something crazy that happened, is that once I put it in my mind that it was like, why would we continue paying rent for a place when we can own a place? Guess what happened? I was driving down the same street that I would drive to my office that I was renting, and there was a sign right there saying building for sale. My wife and I went into that building and it needed a whole bunch of work. It needed a lot of work, but it was for sale. But there was also another person looking to buy that building. And I told my wife, it's good, and she was like, it's good, but it needs a lot of work. I went and took another look at that building and I did a U-turn to go back to the office that I was renting at that time. And I saw something that I had never seen the whole time driving. It was a small yard sign in front of a building that was right across the street from the building that we were interested in. Why didn't I ever see that before? Or was it that I started clearly putting it in my mind of what I wanted? Now, let me tell you how crazy this is. In that building, it was a small square building. It had 1, 2, 3, 4 office spots, and it had 2 open areas. And it was basically a square, 2 bathrooms in there. It was vacant. Had a yard sign, not even a real estate sign. It was being sold by the organization that was in there. No one looked. For some reason, this building had been for sale for, I think, 4 to 5 years, and no one approached them about it. And my wife and I approached them. We cut the deal, and we own the building. It's our building, 100%. And we, painted it. It was done the way, the carpet. We had all of that redone, got our stuff in there. Still own that building to this day. But let me tell you something about imagination, that when I think back about something that happened when I was in the military, that this was where my visualization and reality met with that first building that we purchased for our business, is that when I would go into my first sergeant's office, and the way it's set up in the military is like this. It was set up like this. So this is the barracks. These are like our rooms over here. And here's the first sergeant. So there was a guy at the desk here, which is like a lower rank. It could be a sergeant or really an E4. I've had to sit at that desk before. They call it, I think they called it EQ or something. You sit at that desk. Somebody's going to always be at that desk. Then there was a wall right here, and then there was another office, and that was the first sergeant. And then there was another wall, and then this was the captain. The captain. So I used to visualize when I was 18 years old, and I've always been thinking about business, but I used to visualize, man, this is the setup. If I'm ever able to have this in my business, I want to have it set up just like this, because this person always stopped people from getting to there, and the first sergeant always stopped people from getting to the captain. And so it was like, in a way, the captain wouldn't exist because I would be the first sergeant. I'm not going to have somebody over me, or you could say I'm going to be the captain. I wouldn't need that many people to stop, but I would need one person to stop. And guess what happened with that building? My secretary, so this is how the building layout was. This is how the building layout. This is the door to come in. There's a area here, and then there's another door. So this, and there was a wall. My secretary would be here, and guess what? My office was right here. So people would come in, they can't come to me. Some people may say, well, that's coincidence. I say it's visualization. And the reason why I say it's visualization, because I'm going to tell you about my new office that I got a few years ago, to tell you how things can change. Number one, that was what the situation was with that office. What came into my visualization after that is that I told my wife, we're growing. We got two companies sharing the same building. We're growing, and we need to get a bigger building. And she was like, okay, what did you see anything? And I was like, yeah, I saw a building down the street from where we're at. It's been vacant for a while. Maybe we can make an offer for that building and we can move in there. And we went, looked at it. It had the space, but something wasn't right about it. So what I started doing is I started like visualizing, what did I want? Like, what do I want? I said, I want more of an open type environment building. I don't want it to be like, in that one, it had like all of these walls and made it tough to come to see me. It's like way in the back. It was like a maze, and I didn't want it to be that way, but it had its good parts about it. That's where you're like making sure that this is what you want. But I was like, no, I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be open. So coming down the street, this is how this visualization stuff works. Where I'm at now, I'm in the new office, but it's on a street that I would not go to going home. None of my clients are in this area. Like, nothing is over here that I was coming this direction to see for none of my businesses. But I came home this direction. And that's the universe sending me. It said, this is what you need this might be what you're looking for. So I came down the street, and it was a building for sale by Bank of America. Bank of America had a bank at this location. They closed it down. It's been vacant for 5 years. And I was like, that's it. That's the place. And now it needed a whole bunch of work, but it was wide open. Like, after the teller booths used to be down this whole row here. They had about 12 to 14 teller booths with the protective stuff here. But it was taking all of that stuff down. It was going to open up the whole area. And then I also had in my mind, like, this has to be, like, I want a conference area. I want the open space because I want to have a desk like my workers. Like, right now I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 desks just on the first floor, not counting mine. So that's 8 desks wide open. But my office is in the office that the president of the bank used to have, because I always wanted to have that type of office with the TV screens and everything. Like my office had the bookcase. I got the bookcase, everything. You probably seen that on other videos. And I have a huge desk in there. That's what I had in my mind. That it was not it was like, if I'm going to do this, that's what I want to do. And then over here, we have a conference room, and I visualized having the conference room right, but I was kind of being a little cheap because it cost a lot of money to get all of this done. But my wife was like, you have this vision, I have this vision, we need to do it the right way. And so we have a glass enclosed conference area where you can see in there, but it gives the privacy. And then we have a conference desk, and we looked all over and we made sure we got the right conference desk and the right chairs. Like here, I'm gonna spin around so you can see that right there. So you see that? You see that right there. So that's right. Like all of this was in my mind. But let me tell you, from when we were negotiating for this, because you had to negotiate with the bank, and we wasn't going to pay the price that they wanted. What I did is I would, rather than focusing on the negotiation, let me tell you what I did. Is coming from my other office, I would drive by this location on the way home. Before I went to work at my other office, I would drive by this location as if I was driving to this location, because it was mine. This was going to be my new office, this location right here. It was already inside. I had already let go of the other office, and I just had to let the material world catch up with my visualization. Let the reality catch up with my visualization was way ahead of where reality was. We ended up negotiating, getting the building, and then getting the whole building redone to the way that we wanted it. It has a downstairs, and the workers who work in the downstairs, we have 4 desks down there. It's wide open, excellent parking lot, everything. It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted. It's what I visualized. But I came and drove here. I remember I was driving like this was mine. I would do the U-turn right there and then go to the other office. And then I started visualizing my other company that I have that was actually leasing another spot, moving that business into the office building that we owned. So it was like I immediately started that process of moving that one over there. I was visualizing that business being in there. So like I was thinking, like, this is where that's going to go. That's where that's going to go. And everything is going to work out. And then we're going to be over here and everything's going to work out. And guess what? Everything has worked out. Everything has worked out. So now let's get into the lesson here. What do you want? What do you want for your business? What do you want for your business? Most businesses want more money, but most businesses won't do what it takes to make more money. They will just continue to grind at what they're doing that doesn't make the money come in. If there was something that has meant so much to every business that I own, so much to it, is that you got to find a way to bring people in. But you have to be careful, because if you don't have a process for continually being able to market to those individuals that you bring in, it's going to make it to where your advertising dollar is not being spent in an optimal way. And what I mean by that is, if you're running ads and you're just showing people, and if they don't come in and buy anything, you're going to just have to keep doing this over and over and over again. Now, you might be thinking that you see businesses doing that. They're not actually doing that. You just think that they're doing that. These companies are in the business of doing lead generation. You just may not understand what they're doing because they're not there to teach you what they're doing. They're not there to show you their secrets of how they make their business work. But you better bet that if someone is running ads that is successful, what they're going to do is they're going to run through, it doesn't matter if it's TV, radio, internet, but I'm telling you, if you're a small business person, you better get hip to internet. And you better get hip to doing it the way that it's being done now, which is lead generation. You might be thinking about AI and all of that. All of that is good. But if you don't know how to generate leads on a basic level, all of the other new stuff that comes about is just going to get your mind scrambled. So what you need to do, and what they do is they're going to run ads, but they're either lead generating. Well, they're always lead generating, but it might look a different way. Some people think that lead generating is just where people fill out a form. When people call, if someone calls an ad, what that company will do, these bigger companies, is that they're going to put that information into a database and they're going to have multiple follow-ups with that individual. You might get a postcard, you might get another call, you might get an email, all of that. That's why with these companies, when you call in, they have a way of doing it, is that they'll say, hey, can we get what is your name? Can you spell your last name? Okay, what's your email address? Like they have it, they say it in a way that where the person will fall through in line. Now, some people say, hey, I'm just trying to call to get some info. Then what they're going to do is they're going to just call that person back rather than trying to email them, or they're going to text them. No matter what, they have a system in place. No matter how much information you give them, they have a way to follow back up. Most businesses like yours are not doing that. They're just ad, show. So what ends up happening is when they don't make any money, they stop advertising. And then they try to do post to try to, how are you going to post your way to millions? Like, you see people that have post and had millions of views and still didn't make millions. Not to say that it can't happen, but it's always a process in place. Even if you're posting, you need to have a way of posting to lead generate, not posting just to be posting to be flashy about your business or whatever you're doing. It doesn't work that way. You already know it, so I don't have to tell you about that. So what you got to do is you have to put together a process, a system, and you got to learn how to do it, because if you don't learn how to do it, you're going to be doing it the wrong way and you're going to be struggling all the time. If you do this the right way, you're going to always have people to talk to. You're going to always have people in your pipeline at different spots. You're going to have people that are hot. You're going to have people that are warm. You're going to have people that are cold, but you're going to always have an opportunity. And then another thing that seems that you should pay attention to, because most businesses that I come across, they're bad at selling. So if you're running your ads, and you're getting leads, and then you're selling, and you put together a follow-up process, when you do that, it'll give you, from all of these leads that you've paid for, all of these people, we should say people, but all of these people that you've paid for, you can remarket to them for less. It's going to cost you less. Because here you're bringing in new people to talk to. Here you've already paid for them, so you can just do your follow-up process. And then you can send them and turn those into money. So first, let's just say you're bad at selling. So you run your ads. You learn to do that. You learn how to get leads. You learn how to get your follow-up system in place. People are not buying from you. So what you can do is you can say, okay, let's work on this follow-up process, because something that we're not saying, or the way that we're saying it, or the way that people are seeing it, they just don't like how we're either offering it or what we're offering. Like a lot of people tell you just play the numbers game. Yes, you do play the numbers game, but you don't play the numbers game the wrong way. Because if you play the numbers game when you're with a bad process in place, all you're going to do is spend more money and have the same result, which is if you're already spending money right now and you don't have a good result that makes you satisfied with the amount of money you're bringing in, when you run more ads and you do more stuff on this front end and you don't have this in place, all you're going to do is spend more money and get the same result. What you want to do is you want to spend more money and increase your opportunities to get a better result. And there's several things that you can actually do within this follow-up process where people don't even buy from you. This is crazy. And I do this where you can actually have people who don't buy from you actually help you pay for your ads. It is crazy. It is crazy. No, I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I'm here to tell you that there are ways to do it. I actually, with one of my companies, I actually have in the follow-up process where I don't sell anything and I get money on a daily basis. At the last time I checked, I think it was about $5,000 for the whole year, where I didn't even give them, they didn't buy a product or service. They didn't, but they gave me money. I can show you how to do that. But these are my secrets on those. But I'm already helping you right now. Already helping you. You need to learn how to make ads. You need to learn how to generate leads. Put them into a follow-up process. Work on your follow-up process. If you got an A+ on here, A+ on here, and you got leads coming in and you're not making sales, then this is where you need to work. This is what you need to work on. If your ads are working, but you're not generating leads, then this is where you need to work. You need to work on how you're capturing the leads. There might be something that you're saying that is not making them feel comfortable about doing business with you. If your ad is not working, then you got to work on your ad. And then I just made a video that showed if your ad is working, but you're not generating leads and you've done your cross checks to make sure that your lead form or your landing page is properly done, then your ad is not connecting. You can actually have clicks, but the people are not connecting with the individual. If it's a visual ad or if it's a video ad, they're not connecting, believing that this ad, they like what the offer is. They like to be able to get more information, but when they look at it, they're like, this is something general. This is probably something that's not connected to the company itself. They don't like these third-party lead generation companies because what they believe is that if they become a lead with your company and they're not attached to you, they're going to get a call from like 15 different businesses, and they don't want that to happen. So, but if it's you in there or they know and can identify that it's someone with your company, then they're going to feel more comfortable because they're going to be like, I don't really want to get a call all the time, but if it's going to come from that company because they're saying it's coming from them, I know it's not going to be sold out to 15 other different companies. All right. So, Hope, I know that you got this is good content. This is stuff that I do every day. If you need help, I have links above or below. I have a do-it-yourself program, Level Up Your Business 5-Day Challenge, where you can utilize my program where I teach you how to do all of this stuff. Look at it for 5 days, and you don't believe that it'll work for you, you can cancel and don't worry about it. I know it will work for you. That's if you're the do-it-yourself type person. If you're not the do-it-yourself type person, contact me. There's a link below on this video, and we can talk about how my company maybe can work with you. I got to see some things with your business. We don't work with just anybody. We don't work with everybody. We take a limited amount of clients each month, but definitely no matter what business you're in, no matter what industry you're in, we probably worked with it, and we can help you generate more leads, put a sales process in place, all of that stuff. Thank you for your time. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you post your questions and comments and like this video, share this video. This is real deal information. I'm not a fake person. I really own businesses. I really own property. I've really been in business since 1990. This is not any type of fake stuff. I'm not making videos saying, giving information on stuff that I wouldn't do for myself, that I'm not doing. It is not some type of get rich quick program, none of that type of stuff. This is Stephen